What you are about to watch is a true story of Anirudh Gokhale, who travelled all the way from Pune to Goa in search of a suitable job. Being a BSc graduate, he intended to take up a job somewhere in Goa, but unfortunately, his story went haywire when he got partially paralyzed on the right side of his body. After being paralyzed, he had no one to take care of him, and so he was left on the streets. For many years, he remained on the streets at the Azad Maidan. After a lot of coaxing, he finally agreed to be taken in by Street Providence. At Street Providence, they decided to look after him and take care of him. This is how the story began for Anirudh Gokhale in Goa, and this is where he ultimately is. Although he is homeless, no one to take care of, he still wants to give back blessings that he received at Street Providence. So let's have a look at this story.
So today we are here at Azad Maidan. I'm Donald Fernandez, Street Providence, and he's Anud Gok, and it's 3rd November 2023, and there's a purpose why we are sitting here, because for about 4 years back, the same gentleman was staying here, and from 2019 we have been, or 2018 I have been coming regularly across the parapet, meeting him, and maybe sometimes giving him a packet of food, or talking to him, and he would say, we'll see afterwards. So this was his place to stay. He had some issues with his body, or some sickness. He had a long beard, he was unclean, he was confused, he had tobacco, maybe BD, or whatever he had. Only tobacco. And he liked the ambience here, because there's a lot of traffic moving around and a lot of things to do here. And in due course of time, he was convinced that he needs to do something purpose with his life. So about 2 years now. Yeah. So 2 years. Around 2 years now he's with us. And last year again, after 1 year, he said, I want to go, which he can't remember. So that's okay. But then we convinced him again, and in 1 year's time, he's much better. His stroke ailment is under control. His diet is under control. He's much younger. How old are you now?
48.
48. He's 48 now. He's much active. He has responsibility. He understands that with his disability or with his shortcomings, still he can be a contribution to society. Still he can play a role in utilizing whatever talent or whatever life he has in him. And Gokhale, I want to ask you, exactly what was your condition in your mind, not your body, when you were here during the 1890?
That time I was getting food free, so I was relaxed, because food is the main thing. Without food, man can die. So,
but when you were staying here during that time, what was in your mind? What were the other people also staying with you on this particular area? I remember this particular parapet what we are sitting on. What was in your mind during those days?
nothing, sir. I got stroke, that's why I can't work.
Yeah, but we were coming regularly to visit you. We were coming regularly to convince you to come with us.
Yeah.
But it took a lot of 4 years to motivate you to.
See, main problem was food. I was getting food free, so I don't used to come.
Now after 2 years of staying with us and so many years on the street, how do you look at life?
I am doing work there.
Like what work you do?
I remove medicines there.
How many people?
Of people, for 30 people.
Psychiatric medicine.
Yeah.
Okay, then
And I get food, and I get I live there happily.
okay. So you don't feel like you should come back to the street, or that place is boring there because you don't have to go out your whole day inside. It's like
No.
And you remember there used to be other people around here.
Yeah.
They used to be other people. So what do you think? Where those people must have gone? Some reached our
To
home.
Street Providence only.
Most have come to Street Providence.
No.
Or some must have died on the street only.
Yeah. 3-4 people died here only.
On the street.
Yeah.
Did we ask them to get off the street that time? Are you aware whether we had asked them to get off the street that time?
I think yes. But they don't come.
So you used your mind to move off the street
Yeah.
for something better for your health. If
Yeah.
you were still on the street and you had not come last 2 years,
I may died.
you may have died.
Yeah.
So it is to people who feed on the street.
Yeah.
Wherever you are feeding on the street, always see when you feed somebody, if you are feeding off the street, does that person require help to get off the street? Can that person be convinced to move off the street? See, we also used to feed on the street, and we found so many people on the street. It's not that they want to live on the street, or they like the street. It is a circumstance, it's a situation, it's a mind frame, it's a disappointment in life, it is a rejection, and sometimes it's difficult for them to believe. It is difficult for them to believe that somebody will take them and give them a home, somebody will give them shelter, somebody will give them food. It's difficult to believe. Maybe did you have show that guy? Show that guy. Now he is a situation where the police need to support us in getting him off the street. Otherwise he is going to go out of control. He is beyond our control to go and convince, because he is of unsound mind. But the system does not support such people on the street. There are no procedures, there are no SOPs, how we can reach out. As an NGO, if we just start picking up everybody, it's going to get very complicated. Now he is a human being. We don't know what's his circumstance, what's his problem exactly. Why is he in that behavior? Definitely he's a psychiatric case. He's having some mental disabilities. But he cannot be, as a human being, he cannot be allowed to just live on a street with no one to care for him, or no one to give him the treatment. So coming back to Gokhale. So Gokhale, you have seen many people like this in Panjim, correct? So how do you think these people live? Like, where do they go?
They sleep somewhere.
Where somewhere?
Like me.
They go where?
That I can't say.
You can't say.
Yeah.
So
But
our
shade must be there. for
where
them.
in Panjim you think there's a shade?
Yeah.
Where?
Like this.
Shade,
Yeah.
Not organized.
No.
Just come and stay for the night. Somebody gives you
yeah.
food,
Yeah.
So if you can span the camera out, see,
Yeah.
you can show them Azad Maidan. So this is Azad Maidan, where people night time come and stay here. Some of them genuinely are homeless. Some of them genuinely require help, and then they live their life here. They get into alcohol, they get into tobacco, they get into cigarette, they may get into contraband, they may get into abuse substance, and then they destroy their life. In Gokhale's case, he was repairable. He is in control. He is not taking psychiatric medicine, right? He is not taking any medicine, but he is like the compounder. He gives medicines daily 3 times a day to 30 inmates in a shelter home, sometimes 40 inmates in a shelter home. It's just that he's 48 years old, and he has to be very careful with his thinking, with his life. Some time back he told me, I want to go. We had to convince him, explain to him that this is his future, this is his benefit, this is his life. If he stays in a home, he'll get food, he'll get clothing, shelter, he'll get warm bath, he'll get a bed to sleep, he'll get people to talk to, he has a TV to see. He has a lot of things to do with his mind. So those who are feeding on the street, if you are feeding anytime on the street, don't feed numbers. Feed 1 or 2 people and see, can this person be helped? Can I pull off somebody off the street? Just don't call us. Don't dial and say there's a person on the street. It took me 4 years. Imagine I'm coming to see him for 4 years and I can't convince him, and I'm doing this full time. So it's going to be difficult for people feeding on the street, but take person to person, try to build a relationship, try to see why is he on the street, can he get off the street, is he having a reason to be on the street, and if you feel yes, this person in due course of time can get off the street, then you can always contact Street Providence, because everybody requires a second chance, everybody requires a hand. everybody requires to start their life again. Just because on their street and they are dirty or they are unclean doesn't mean they are, irreparable or they are gone off their mind. He claims to be a BSc graduate. I'm not sure, I am not disputing. But I know the work he does in my home qualifies him to be a graduate because he can read a prescription, he knows the medicine, he understands, he need not be told again and again. He's active in his mind. It's just that, circumstances are such where he has gone through a crisis and, he has to understand that, this is his only solution till he dies, that he stays with somebody where his needs are taken care of and he puts his effort and time into reaching out to somebody who may not be as better than me. He's okay. It's just that he has a stroke. He has a mild stroke, right? So he's not like fully paralyzed or he's not bedridden. He can go to the washroom. He does a lot of work in the house. But he is blessed because the stroke was not that severe. There may be people who may be very severe stroke. There may be people who are stroke and psychiatric. There may be stroke and unsound mind. So my message is that, we are ready to help such people. He is a Maharashtrian. He speaks Marathi fluently. Marathi बोलतात ना? Marathi बोलतात. He is a Marathi manus, but he is with us. But he does work in the home, and we are proud that, he has stayed back. He is also happy. I think you're happy now that you came with us after convincing you for 4 years. No, see, it was our job. It's our job to convince people. We don't go to the street anymore now because we are overloaded. But there is a demand for people on the street to get shelter. Government should look into this matter. Social welfare department should look into this matter. Genuine NGOs who are feeding food on the street should look into this matter. Society as a whole needs to understand that not everybody on the street is crazy, insane, mental disability. Circumstances are such that, they reach the street. गोखले मराठी बोलत. गोखले मी जेव्हा पणजीला आलो तेव्हा गोखलेला मी इकडेच भेटलो होतो. पण आता त्याला थोडं विसरायचं थोडं झालं आहे. त्याला माहीत नाही आम्ही काय बोलतो आणि काय ते कुठे मिळालो. आणि आता मी न्यायला आलो ते ती जागा होती गीतापेठी. जेव्हा मी त्याला इकडे मिळालो आझाद मैदानवर तेव्हा ते इकडेच बसलं होतं. तू आणि एक तुझा मित्र होता माहिती. त्याचा तो लेग फ्रॅक्चर झाला होता आणि तर फुल तो प्लास्टर ऑफ पॅरिस घालून बसला होता. तेव्हा मी 2018मध्ये तुला विचारलं होतं बाबा यायचं आहे राहायचं काय करता इकडे बसून तुम्ही. तेव्हापासून त्याने मला सांगितलं की तू याला घेऊन जा. तर याला आता गरज आहे का त्याचा पाय ऑलरेडी फ्रॅक्चर आहे. ही आता 2018ची गोष्ट होती तेव्हा मी याला भेटलो होतो तेव्हा. आणि त्याच्यानंतर मी ही स्टोरी डॉनलला सांगितली असं असं आहे करून. डॉनल त्याला 2-3 वेळा इकडे येऊन भेटला होता, बोलला होता. नंतर तो कन्व्हिन्स झाला. आणखी काय? What message you want to give in Marathi? Marathi you give message.
हे खूप चांगलं काम आहे. स्ट्रीट प्रोव्हिडन्स खूप चांगलं काम करतात. डोनाल्ड सर आणि समनीत सर खूप चांगलं काम करतात. देव त्यांचं भलं करो.
तुला काय सांगायचं आहे हे जे आता इकडे बसतात ना त्यांना तुला काय सांगायचं आहे?
स्ट्रीट प्रोव्हिडन्समध्ये या सगळं व्यवस्थित होईल तुमचं.
We have just heard the story, the wonderful story of Gokhale, and we have also heard how he has recovered from his the stroke that he had. But I think karma played back for him in the first stage when Street Providence went to pick him up. He thought of another person rather than himself. So karma did play well with him, and I think he was blessed because he allowed somebody else to be taken first and he stood behind. I think that's the blessing that he has received today at Street Providence, and today he is fit, he's fine, he's responsible,
He's carrying his head on his shoulders, and he's doing what he's been asked to do. Very lovingly and voluntarily. He doesn't demand anything. All that he thinks is now. He thinks about the others who are also suffering. And I think he's paying back what karma did to him, what God did to him. I think he's paying back in the same coin. And we hope that such cases, such stories get the proper inspiration, get the proper audience, and the proper what do you call that? Public awareness in this kind of exercise.
Yes, thank you.